So, yeah, I'm GregorHorsinka. I studied geography at the University of Bremen, and I'm a research assistant at the DFKI, the German Research Center for Artificial Intelligence. And a year ago we started a project about electromobility. And for this we used OpenStreetMap, so we do routing for electric cars, activity-oriented routing. I'm going to show a demo later. And yes, so yeah, just a short outline, a bit formal. The motivation, related work, ontologies in general. Then our ontology, which has the great name Osmonto. Then the application, which is called Do Roam, where we used this ontology, and then some conclusions. So the motivation was that we used the OpenStreetMap tags, but we needed a better overview of it, and we decided to put them in an ontology so that we have a hierarchical representation, and we can use ontology-based data access. So we can connect them to other ontologies, for example. So with this ontology we have a better overview. For example, with Protégé, so our ontology is an OWL file. And in the future it may be also possible to maintain this automatically. I will show this later. Then we can enrich this ontology with different or more semantics. For example, we can relate different tags or unite them. For example, we all know the problem that we got some old tags which are still in use or still in database, but they shouldn't be tagged anymore, but they are still there, and we got some newer ones, and we can unite them to one concept so that we can just access them all. For example, if we take what's important for our project, the charging stations for electric cars, where we have the relatively new tag amenity charging station, and older one which was fuel electricity yes. And so we can unite them in the ontology and just access all of those nodes which are tagged both ways. Yes, so we can easily access for the tags for search and navigation. Yeah, shortly about the related work, which we use more or less. Of course, you all know the Wiki of OSM, and we got the page about map features there, which lists more or less nearly all of the tags which are in use or which should be used at the moment. Then we have tag info and tag watch. I think maybe you all know this, where you just get a list of all the tags which are in the database, and they are listed just in a table with their appearance in the database, or you can also just have a look at Europe or North America. So these tools are quite interesting, but still they aren't an ontology, they're just a table or a wiki page, and not really accessible for example, ontology-based data access. And yeah, then I don't know if you are familiar with ontologies. I'm also not the ontology expert in our working group, there's somebody else, but still ontologies. With ontologies you can just capture knowledge about some domain by describing its concepts and the relationships between them. So it's quite formal, and it's widely used in computer science, for example, semantic web, etc. Here I have a small example. We have 3 classes, which are person, pet, and country. And we have some individuals in those classes, for example, Italy, England, USA, or Matthew and Gamma. Now we can have relationships between those with roles. For example, Matthew lives in country, and in this case it is England. So we can relate them to each other. Yes. Now to our ontology, Osmonto. You all know that we have the tags in the form of a key and a value, And what we did is make the keys the super concepts of their values. So you can see in the right we have K shop, so the key shop, and all the values are listed there: bakery, beauty, beverages, bicycle, etc. This thing with the K and the V was made necessary because in Protégé you can't have two classes with the same name. And for example, you know that we've got swimming pool in leisure and in sport or amenity, I don't know. So we had to put a V or K in front of it, and sometimes even make the names, you can't see this here now, make the names of the value also, or to put in the name of the value also name of the key. For example, if we have smoke-free yes, and we have smoking yes, or fuel electricity yes, so we just can't put everywhere a yes here, we have to call it then fuel electricity yes, the whole thing. Yeah, then what we can introduce and have introduced in our ontology are roles. So, for example, we have the tech cuisine, and the tech cuisine makes only sense for some places to eat. So restaurants, pubs maybe, or cafes, fast food. So we can have can introduce those roles that restaurant has a cuisine. Now, yeah. What tags did we introduce in this ontology? This was a bit tricky because, as you know, in the OSM Wiki, as I said, we got most of the tags, but on all that are used. And in tag info and tag watch, we've got all the tags that are used, but also a lot of noise. So we have typos, we have falsely used tags, we have a lot of stuff. What we did was just choose a threshold, which was, I think, 100, so 100 times appearances of a value in the database, and we put it in our ontology. It's, I don't know if it's the perfect solution for that, but it's a solution. And so our ontology didn't grow too much, and it's still usable for nearly all purposes. So tags that are in worldwide used under 100 times, we can say that they aren't this important and we can leave them out. Now, what would be great if this ontology could somehow be dynamic? So we created this half an hour ago, half a year ago, half an hour ago. Now, yeah, it would be great if we had this dynamic aspect in it, so if there are changes, if there are new tags, that we or somehow the community could maintain this whole thing and put the new tags in there. And we got, our whole project has a Wiki page, it's called Osmonto, but there you get the source code for the complete project, go to Rome, but also the access to this ontology. So now I'm going to show you what we use this for. This is our project called Do Rome. As I said, it's about electromobility, routing with it. Yeah, we focus there on usability, so it's activity oriented, that you can select a route and say that within this route you want to do some activities like visiting an ATM or visit a restaurant or something. This is something more important for electric cars because at the time the battery capacity is not this much and it takes a lot of time to recharge them. So if you find a charging station somewhere, you have to maybe wait an hour or something. And the idea behind this is that you do something in the area in walking distance, which makes sense for you. Like you park your car, you charge it, and while that you go to the restaurant or the shopping center or whatever. Yes, we have a linguistic analysis for this. So we have a free text search. Also, you can not only choose the activities, but also just search for names or for activities. Yeah, why did we choose OpenStreetMap data? First of all, the head of the project is very fond of open source. That's one reason, and the other is that what we needed was exactly the charging stations, and you won't find them in Google Maps. So our first part was tag the charging stations. Yes, also you all know that in some aspects OpenStreetMap is better than Google Maps, not only with its charging stations. Yes, I think the next thing is the video. Oh no, okay, just a short look on our tool architecture. So I'm no computer scientist, but here you can see the ontology of OpenStreetMap tags. It evolved out of the database, and it is connected to another ontology, the ontology of activities. So we have connected those two ontologies. And yeah, the ontology of activities is just a database with the activities you can do, like eat, or just a restaurant, or have a swim, etc. And it's mapped to our tag ontology. And now comes the video, yes. But first of all, this is, I think, 2 months ago or something. The web page has changed a bit since then. We do routing, and we have implemented routing from the Technical University of Munich, I think, which is energy efficient. It's called, they got their own homepage, greennav.org. And this is also very important for electric cars, because you got your battery status. So with this energy efficient routing, you can take an account, for example, if you drive up a hill or down a hill, and can recharge your battery by this. And also that you take roads that just don't waste too much energy of your battery. So this, yeah. And in the video, just this a sample route in Munich, I think, from Munich main train station to Siemens. So you choose just your start and your destination point. But now, when this is done, you can choose the activities. You get more or less this activity ontology. And now in this case, this person wants to recharge his car. He gets the charging stations, which are not a lot at the moment, as we all know. And now he can just have a look what's in the area around the charging station. Because, as I said, it takes a lot of time, so he chooses to go to a restaurant. When this is done, then he will find a restaurant, just 2 minutes by foot or something. Yes, he selects it, and he also now chooses an ATM, I think. Yes. And after this, we get the route, and in this case, we choose the energy efficient routing. As I said, it's at the moment only available in Bavaria, because the data is only available there at the moment. And you get your route. You can also select your car type. This is Stromos. Don't know the exact difference between this. Yes, so you get your route, and it's and it brings you to the charging station and also to the ATM from your start to your destination point. Okay, here are some conclusions and future work. So what does Osmanto bring us? It provides us a structure for OpenStreetMap tags, and it makes it ready for ontology-based data access, and we can add additional semantics, which is very interesting. It could provide a reference for our community, because, as I said, we have this threshold for 100 tags, I think, and it delivers a good overview just over the tags. And maybe also an idea how to structure OpenStreetMap tags or to extend them. What would be interesting in the future with our database or ontology is to extend it with more roles or concepts. And what would also be possible is to infer missing information. So, for example, not every restaurant is tagged also with a cuisine, but one could infer this by the name of the restaurant maybe. So if it's called Peking, you can guess that it has a Chinese cuisine. That would be something for the future. Yes, I think that's already it. Kept it short because, yeah, I wanted to have some questions and ideas maybe, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Gregor. Are there any questions? We have time. Or is Maurizio here by the... Yeah.
Okay, so you told you connected the ontology to the activity ontology, which is apparently an external ontology. But are there other ontologies that could be interesting for OpenStreetMap? I'm thinking of something like traffic, transportation, land use.
So first of all, it's of course possible to relate this to any ontology. We at the moment are more, because of our background with electromobility, we are more on tourism and activities focused. So we don't have an ontology with land use or traffic, but this could be easily done. And I think there might be some published ontologies on this. When I think of the schema, which was published a few weeks ago by Google and Bing and Yahoo, I think, which has a lot in it. So I think this, of course, this can be done, but we haven't done it, and by now I don't know where you can get such ready ontologies for traffic or land use.
So thank you, Greg.